something on your mind?
And here is Karen running across with a pained look on his face. I heard shouting, Godan. Are you all right? Once again, explaining what happened. We've got attacked by somebody with a knife. What's going on? Inquiring about what the hell's happening here. It's not this place, child. It's you they're after. Gorion is waiting on the steps to the central library and wants you to go to him as soon as you have bought what you need at the inn. Oh, Godan, I have been your tutor for so many years, and only in this moment have I come to doubt that my teachings have been enough. Go to Gorion, child. It is safe for you here no longer. That's the first bit of information he's got that makes a bit of sense. It seems that obviously somebody's after him. He's figured that out for himself, but it's been confirmed. But what would somebody want with him? Who wants him dead? Godan's mind is reeling. Someone obviously wants him dead, but who would want an orphan dwarf of Candlekeep put in the ground, and for what reason? One thing is for certain. Godan's safety in Candlekeep is now at risk, and perhaps this is the reason for Gorion's sudden interest on getting him out of there. Godan promptly enters the barracks to retrieve Hull's sword. Time is now of the essence.
Right, what's this then?
Okay, so here's Fuller, another one of the guards. Oh, what a mead-filled night! That Hull is just too much. Poor sap had to go man the gate this morning too. I don't know how he does it. What can I do for you anyways? We're explaining that we are here to fetch Hull's sword. Sure, it should be the chest over against the wall. Right side of the room, foot of the bed. Looks to be the one. Hull's sword and an antidote. With the antidote and Hull's sword retrieved, Godan heads back outside. The Candlekeep grounds are all but explored, and Godan heads back round for a second time to collect his rewards for the items he has collected. First stop is Philidia. Godan almost kicks himself as he makes his way towards her for missing quite a lucrative opportunity whilst here at Candlekeep. He could have hidden her most precious items around the keep and then found them for her for a reward every time. She's so preoccupied with other matters, Godan is sure she wouldn't have cottoned on. Okay, so returning Philidia's book.
Hello there.
My book! Oh, you remind me of Gorion when you grin like that. Raising you has been hard on him, I know, but he says it's a toil of love, a toil of destiny. You must be a very special child indeed to draw such praise from a man of his silent nature. Here, take this little gem of mine. Maybe Winthrop will give you a little something for it. So, nice. She's given us a linkside gem for our trouble. A gem? Coin would certainly have been more useful, and Godan begins to doubt the effectiveness of his recently formulated money-making scheme. He's sure Winthrop will offer him a fair price for the piece. When he explains his reasoning for selling it, however, he thanks Philidia for the reward and moves on. As he approaches Drippy Drippin, he avoids all eye contact, and when the stable boy shouts him over, he simply quickens his step, making his way towards Hull, his sword in hand, and clutching at the antidote that he's recently acquired. Took your sweet time, didn't you? Gorion's a fool for trying to bring you up right, and you can tell him I said so too. If I didn't know any better, I'd say the whole iron crisis is the result of twerps like you wandering off with people's swords. Here, 10 gold pieces. Now get out of here, I'm on duty. Hungover and grouchy. Typical Hull.
Hey, it's me, Imoen.
Ah, and here's Imoen. I'm surprised that stuffy old Gorion let you away from your studies and chores. That old fiddle-faddle. I snuck off too. Old Puffguts Winthrop was looking for me, but I've got all day to do his chores. You have time for a story today? No? I can tell you don't. What have you been up to? So Godan explaining that we have no time to chat, and that Gorion is wishing us to prepare for a journey. Little one, I'm not much younger than you, though you sure got tall fast, relatively, for a dwarf. A journey, eh? I never get to travel. Wish I could go with you. Yep, really wish I could. Yes, sir, really do. Imoen dropping the hint there. And of course, I suppose a little bit of company on the road wouldn't be a bad thing. Explaining it fine. Okay, we'll ask. Don't be silly. Gorion would never even let you finish the sentence. Especially after what that letter of his said. Did I say that? No, of course I didn't. Never saw no letter. Nope, I'll just get back to work now. You better go. Gorion is waiting. Imoen. A great friend, but not without her flaws. Whatever you do, do not trust her with your secrets, unless you want your worst enemy knowing that you secretly wear women's clothing in the night.
Greetings, young one.
Okay, so here's Tefteril, explaining that Gorion is looking for us. We know this. We know this. I'm just going to the inn, purchase my supplies, don't worry. With his final chores completed, Godan finally makes his way towards the inn to purchase his much-needed supplies for the upcoming journey. He ponders how strange it will be actually purchasing equipment from Winthrop rather than the usual supply of alcoholic beverages.
Sorted.
Once inside the inn, and before he can head to the counter, he is called over by Firebeard Elvenhair.
It's hard to find decent folk nowadays.
And here is the fabled Firebeard Elvenhair, adventurer and storyteller of many epic story that Godan has heard throughout the years, although getting a bit old. Oh yes, I am back within the hallowed halls of Candlekeep. With this iron crisis upon us, the trip from Beregost was more hazardous than I care to relate. You're Gorion's ward, aren't you? Bit of amnesia, of course. Oh my, you have come into your own, if you would permit an old man jealous of youth to say so. I left an identify scroll with Tefteril in the inner grounds. You should be done examining it by now. Asking us to fetch it for him. Well, of course we don't mind fetching it for the old storyteller.
I'm on it.
Just when he thought it was time to leave, one last chore to carry out. Of course, Godan has no qualms assisting Mr. Elfhair, as he called him when he was younger. The travelling sage often returned to Candlekeep full of tales of adventure, and Godan loved sitting down with Imoen and listening to the stories. Once in the inner courtyard, Godan happens upon the chanters once again. Their incessant screeching permeates the air far too often. The inner courtyard is supposed to be a place of quiet sanctuary where one can carry out their studies or sit and relax amongst the flowers, not listen to the constant din of some ill-fated prophecies being spouted by the unenlightened. Godan quickly puts this annoyance to the back of his mind. He won't be here much longer to have to listen to it, and continues on his hunt for the power-walking Tefteril. Just where on earth has he gotten to?
I am very proud of you, as I am sure Gorion is.
Finally finding Tefteril, bloody hell, almost 2 laps I had to make there. Firebeard has sent you to me, hasn't he? Very well, return this scroll to him. But then you must hurry and speak with Gorion. He is waiting for you at the steps of the central library. What are you doing, child? This is great urgent business. Yes, we know, I'm sorry. Just taking in the last few sights before I leave. The chanters give Godan a strange look as he walks past them with his fingers in his ears, hoping they get the hint. He has a chuckle to himself before heading back to the Candlekeep Inn for perhaps the final time.
Sorted.
Alright, so here is Winthrop.
My hotel's as clean as an elven arse.
And the usual joke about the 10,000 gold piece book entrance fee. Of course, we know him well enough to know that this is always one of his jests, but he uses it perhaps quite too often. Just having a bit of fun with you, my friend. Them monks may be walking about with poles in their nethers, but you know you are always welcome here in my sight. Of course we are. We're one of his regular customers. So here are the inns, the inn interface. We have a variety of rooms that we can purchase to rest and recuperate. The cheaper the room, the less you heal, I think, whilst you sleep. Obviously costing a variety of prices as well. We have the purchase screen, the drinks screen. I imagine Godan will be spending a fair amount of time in this particular screen during his time in the inns. And this is the steel screen, which I've never ever used, ever, in any of my Baldur's Gate playthroughs. And I don't anticipate using it here either, to be fair, but I might be wrong. Right, so first order of the day, let's sell some of the stuff that we have, and then purchase what we need for the journey ahead. Winthrop's prices seem reasonable enough. Godan sells his acquired goodies and then sets about perusing Winthrop's stock for equipment. He notices a batch of battle axes and promptly asks for 2. There is an iron crisis apparently after all, and he's heard that weapons are prone to breaking. He also purchases axes of the throwing variety for long distance killing. He completes his shopping spree with a large shield, a helmet and some splint mail. That should be enough to keep him safe for the time being. Once finished, Winthrop claps his arms around his #1 patron and wishes him luck, and then also informs him to take some items from the drawers down the hall as a leaving gift. Godan does so, and then requests to go upstairs to try on his new gear.
I'm on it.
Once upstairs, Godan can't help himself. The sleeping patron snoring heavily is a sign that their valuables are pretty much fair game, and before donning his equipment, Godan helps himself into the drawers within the various rooms, being careful not to wake the sleeping beauties. Far too easy. Even the locked ones pose little problem, as Godan uses his newly acquired axe to remove the locks. Some gold, a necklace, and a potion of clarity. Better than nothing, which is what the locals will wake up to find. One of the rooms appears unoccupied, and Godan heads on over to change. He slips into his new armour, which is tight and stiff, but fits well. He equips his axes, places his helmet over his head, and holds his shield. He stands before the mirror in the room and admires his new look. Whilst doing so, a wave of excitement rises up through him. It's finally happening, he thinks to himself. He's about to leave Candlekeep and experience the big wide world. He takes one last rummage through his backpack, separating the items into those which he will sell and those which he intends to keep for the journey. In his excitement, Godan completely forgets that the identify scroll was for Mr. Elfhair, and he stashes it with the rest of the potions that he intends to keep. Once ready, he heads back downstairs.
Right,
Back
what's
in the
this
inn
then?
proper, Godan is slightly taken aback by the slightly concerned look that Firebeard is giving him. He gets a sense of feeling like he's forgotten something, but quickly brushes it off as he approaches the counter. He grins at Winthrop and then shows off the equipment he is wearing by giving him a spin. The barkeep guffaws, claps his hands together and begins to pour a flagon of mead. Godan downs the mead in one go, wiping the white moustache left behind, and belches loudly. A second quickly follows the first, and after leaving payment on the counter, he heads outside. Candlekeep has been his home for
Sorted.
so long, and now, well, he'll be homeless. A strange notion, but one he quickly puts to the back of his mind. His foster father has protected him all these years, and he was coming along after all. Therefore, Godan had nothing to worry about. He hurried to the steps outside the Candlekeep library and looked forward to the adventure ahead. Right, so here's Gorion, stood outside Candlekeep, and of course we have bought our equipment. We have a little bit of gold left over, 66 gold pieces left over, some scrolls, a few potions that we've pilfered along the way, and our stats have obviously changed a little bit due to the fact that we've put some equipment on. So, like our armor class has gone down from 10 to 3 due to the fact that we now have a shield and we have some splint mail armor on. And our THAC0 has gone down to 17 because we're actually using an axe, which we are proficient in, rather than a bloody stick. So we've increased that. And our damage has gone up now from 5 to 10 to 8 to 13. So we've increased our base stats slightly with a change of equipment. Anyway, let's speak with Gorion and tell him that we are ready to press on.
Oh, my child, I am glad I have found you.
This is very unnerving, I know, but you must trust me. It is very important that you pack your possessions so that we may leave Candlekeep immediately. Hurry, for there is no time to tarry. The keep is well protected, but not invulnerable. Okay, well, explaining that we are ready to go, but before we go, let's see if we can get some extra information from him, asking where we're going. Alas, I cannot, for I have not truly decided. All that is certain is that we would be far safer on the move. Perhaps the woods might offer some secluded security, or perhaps the city of Baldur's Gate would offer cover amidst its teeming throngs of people. I do not know where we shall end up, but I have a few friends here and there. I will think on this. Yes, trying to pry a little bit further, asking what could possibly harm us. This place is well fortified, well guarded, although we've had 2 breaches this morning. Seeing if we can get some information about who it is that's trying to attack us. Candlekeep is indeed a formidable obstacle for ne'er-do-wells, but it is not insurmountable. No matter how thick the mesh, at least one mosquito always finds its way through. No, my child, we must leave as soon as possible for our safety and for that of our friends here. Okay. It's obvious that he's not going to divulge any information to us here, so explaining that we are equipped and ready to go.
Listen carefully. If we ever become separated, it is imperative that you make your way to the Friendly Arm Inn. There you will meet Khalid and Jahira. They have long been my friends, and you can trust them. Let's hurry, child. The night can only get worse, so we must find shelter soon. Don't worry. I'll explain everything as soon as there is time. Wait, there is something wrong. We are in an ambush. Prepare yourself.
You're perceptive for an old man. You know why I'm here. Hand over your ward and no one will be hurt. If you resist, it shall be a waste of your life.
You're a fool if you believe I would trust your benevolence. Step aside and you and your lackeys will be unhurt.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, old man.
Get out of here!
Manus, potentis, paro.
God is especially cruel this morning. You awake with the realization that you have not been living some horrible dream. Ambushed, you saw Gorion cut down before your eyes, and even his powerful magic could not stop the onslaught. It was his wish that you flee, but that does not remove the feeling of helplessness that now overwhelms you. Hand over your ward, the armored fiend had said. He was after you and you alone, but why? If only Gorion had given some clue. But now you are alone and lost. Candlekeep is near, but you will find no quarter there. The readers pay for their serenity with rather draconian entry rules, and without Gorion's influence, their doors will remain closed. You will not last long on your own with your meager equipment. Perhaps you can get some help from the friends Gorion mentioned, the ones at the Friendly Arm.
Hey, it's me, Imoen.
Right, so, tragedy struck last night then. Gorion has been struck down, and we find ourselves here, outside Candlekeep with no prospect of return, and who should come to our aid but Imoen, always getting us out of trouble. Sorry, I followed you, but I never get out of Candlekeep, and those monks are such a bore. Never any decent coin in their pockets neither. I saw Gorion, and I'm so sorry. Kind of figured something might bad happen to you out here. Yes. What do you mean? Kind of figured something bad might happen. I accidentally read a letter on his desk the other day. How do you accidentally read a letter? Can't remember exactly what it said, but he might still have... It might be on his body? Anyway, I'm not going to let you wander around here all alone. Never let a friend down, no sir. Stick with you until you say otherwise, I will. And just like that, there were two. So, Gorion's body is somewhere north of here, and on it there could well be a letter that explains a little bit more about what's going on. So, together with Imoen, I suppose that'll be our first destination. But that'll be next time, so join me for that. See you soon.